Casey Richards from the communications staff of the CDGA, and joining us now is Chris Montagano of the Western Golf Association. Chris, thank you for taking the time to join us. What's the WGA got going on this weekend here in Rosemont?
We're excited to be back here. Obviously, it's been a couple years since the golf shows happened, but we're looking to create some awareness around our two professional events this year. So the BMW Championship's back at Olympia Field, so back in the Chicago market in mid-August, August 15th through the 20th. And then obviously we have the NV5 Invitational presented by Old National Bank back at the Glen Club, July 24th through the 30th. New summer dates for us.
Absolutely. Now, for those of you who have watched the Full Swing documentary on Netflix, there was a clip from that event in there. It circles back to the point that Scotty Scheffler had won that event just a handful of years ago, and now, he's the #1 player in the world. Yeah. So really that event, I know, serves as a springboard for some of the game's best and brightest.
It really does. As we promote the event, we certainly understand that, if you want to call it competing with the BMW Championship, there's a lot more name recognition with the BMW Championship, the top 50 players in the world, competing in Olympia Fields. But, I like to say it's like seeing the band before they were big. With our Pro-Am opportunities, our ticket opportunities, you have a chance to see these guys up close and personal in a Korn Ferry Tour event before they make it big. And we've been fortunate enough with our champions. Obviously you mentioned Scotty. Cam Young was named PGA Tour Rookie of the Year last year. He won in 2021. And then obviously Harry Hall won last year. Was a name that I don't think a lot of people know, but he's quietly having a really positive year on the tour this year. So
I think a lot of people know his dog and
sure.
The Instagram presence for the dog, maybe more so than Harry. But yes, off to a good start. And you mentioned the summer dates. The first few years is over Memorial Day weekend, which, as we all know, can get kind of dicey around here. Yep. So I'm sure, at the very least from a weather perspective, you guys are looking forward to some dates later in the summer.
It's, when we started the event, the Memorial Day weekend was literally the only date available on the tour. And so when the tour approached us, we just said absolutely, and we tried to make an effort to own Memorial Day weekend. And I think, we saw some significant growth over the time that we were there. But there's something to, hosting an event out, in May, in Chicago. So it certainly had its fair share of challenges. I remember, I think 2021, I had a rules official who'd been on the tour for about 30 years say that Friday of tournament week was the second worst day that he'd ever officiated in any professional golf event. So, we're excited. It's going to be hot, but we think it's really going to significantly impact us positively from an attendance standpoint and awareness standpoint for us. So we're very excited about it.
You also mentioned the BMW Championship returning to the Chicago District this year. We've talked a lot about that this is the first Chicago Golf Show since 2020. Yep. That BMW Championship will be the first one since 2019 with fans in the Chicago District. So I'm sure there's a lot of excitement around that.
It's, we talk about it as a staff. John Rahm winning at Olympia Fields, we probably had the most exciting finish that the Western Open / BMW Championship has ever had. Yeah. And I was there when he made his both putts on 18, and there were probably 50 people standing around that green, where normally there would be 20, 30,000 people. So, we're very excited. The membership has really rallied around the opportunity to come back, to have fans, to see that golf course. The show that was put on, I remember it was just a couple under won that tournament when, we've seen so many scores across tour be 20, 25 under par, and to have it, right around par that week, it was really great. So I know the members are excited. We're very excited, and obviously excited to show it off to people, for the first time since Medina.
Yeah. So the two professional events, obviously highlight the WGA's tournament schedule, but
sure.
A wide array of high-level elite amateur competitions as well, I know, kind of round out the slate. So what's on tap for those in 2020?
Yeah, so our amateur events are great. I mean, the last few years we've been helping support the women's Western golf events. So the amateur is at White Eagle this year. The women's junior is at a spot out in Missouri, just outside of Kansas City, which is great. But then our men's events, the junior is at Midlothian, and then the YAM is at North Shore. So we got a lot of presence in the Glenview area this year with that. But we're excited. It's there's a lot of positive things going on in amateur golf. We have always felt like a big part of the reason why we brought in our Korn Ferry Tour event is going, especially on the men's side of things, going from junior to amateur to Korn Ferry Tour to BMW Championship. Yeah. It's a very natural progression. So, kind of tying all that stuff in with our events, both amateur and professional, it's just a natural progression for us, and we love seeing the talent kind of rise up through the ranks, and see where, how far these guys can go.
Yeah. And then at the end of the day, all these events exist for one singular reason, and that's to drive funds for the Evans Scholars Foundation. And if you could just expand upon the mission of all the tournaments.
Absolutely. So our the Evans Scholars Foundation, for those that don't know, is a full tuition and housing scholarship program for caddies. It's the largest in the country. Our mission was to have over 1,000 caddies in college by 2020. We reached that goal in 2019. We've now increased that number. So the goal is now by 2030 to have 1,500 caddies in college. So the program's going. We're continuing to see more and more kids, earn the scholarship. It's been it's truly life-changing. It's a program where, kids either looking at that are going to college either aren't looking at college or are looking at taking out significant student loan debts based on financial need. And so, to be a part of an organization that helps those kids get to college and those caddies get to college is truly touching and really cool to be a part of. So, I tell people I have one of the coolest jobs in the world running a professional golf tournament, but when you see the impact that the dollars that we raise and the impact that it makes, it's truly special.
Well, we feel honored to be in the presence of a Netflix star, and for your next, I guess, on-camera appearance to be on our cameras. I mean, that means a lot to us. So
Absolutely.
So thank you very much, Chris, for taking the time, and best of luck with everything this weekend.
Thank you.